Yeesh. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming and joining us on the second edition of the Titans Table for Two. Unfortunately, on a recap edition, a losing recap edition, Titans did not give us their best. After a long awaited offseason, a lot of hype from Titans fans telling anybody around that would listen that, hey, Will Levis he's gonna be good. He's gonna take this team and change the change the culture in Tennessee, and man, for it to come out like that was not fun, was it?
No, definitely a tale of two halves. You go up 17-0, then give up the big kick return to let them have a field goal before the end, and then just block punt, interception, strip sack. Everything that could go wrong went wrong because they weren't scoring on the defense the way the
Yeah.
defense was playing. So,
And a lot of hype around Caleb Williams in this game from national media and stuff, and he
yeah.
didn't beat us. Will
No,
Levis
no.
and the special teams beat the Titans, not Caleb
Yep.
Williams, and the Bears defense, held their own as well. But that Titans defense, man, I tell you what, if I was Will Levis and then special teams, I'd be buying them dinner this week.
Oh my day.
Are you ready, sir?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
And carrying their pads because if I
All week.
was, yeah, I didn't. Gosh, big old Jeffrey Simmons and Savondre Sweat. Savondre Sweat too, real quick. Just have to. He was. It seemed like he was in that backfield every time I looked up. I mean, he's
Yeah.
going to be. I mean, I don't mean to jump all over the place here, but trying to get some positives in, I guess, where we can this week with this. But
Yeah. I mean, you got to. I always. Week one of the NFL to me is always really weird. So
yeah,
I try not to overreact either way,
yeah,
good or bad. I don't think this is how it's going. We're not going to have a block punt for a touchdown and a pick six every single week,
yeah,
And,
sure.
I try to do it with the defense too. I mean, you hope that's what it is, but, he did play a rookie quarterback in his first game, and, so.
Well, I tell you, if Will Levis is going to be as reckless with the ball as that, you might get him a few more of those pick sixes. But I mean, I've been a defender of him and stuff. But I'm gonna be honest on it. That was one of the dumbest picks I've ever seen in my life. But I love the heart and the determination and everything. But that's just a moment where you're up by one. The lead's been you know getting smaller and smaller. You're hanging on by a thread, and you just hand it over
They're
to
not
them.
moving the ball in your defense at all.
Yeah, trust your defense. Just go down, and that's a big point. I wrote, and look, I'll show you. I wrote in big letters here. Slide, Levis, slide, for crying out loud. They need to get him over to the Nashville Sounds. We don't have a pro team here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
But they need to get him a day or a week over there with the Nashville Sounds and have them guys teach him how to slide. Because I'll tell you, he took a couple big hits there in that first half. And
it seemed like he was the one drawing the contact sometimes too.
Yeah, and it's just it was tough, man. It was tough. It was. I think most Titans fans were feeling pretty good at halftime. Um, but then just we come out in that third quarter, slowly started picking away. You have the big, like you said, the big block for a touchdown, and then it just kind of snowballed from there, and just couldn't put any more points on the board. You put one more touchdown on the board, this game's a little bit different, but just that offense was stagnant the whole second half, and it was just tough to watch, man.
The 2 touchdown drives for the Titans in the first half, 9 plays, 79 yards, 4 minutes, 45 seconds. 19 plays, 83 yards, 8 minutes.
Was it 19? I thought it was like 17. Okay, 19 plays on that second. Yeah.
19 plays, 83 yards, 8 minutes and 23 seconds.
So we were feeling good at that point.
In the second half. Blocked punt for a touchdown. Punt, 6 plays, 3 yards, 2 minutes punt. 4 plays, 9 yards, 2 minutes punt. 6 plays, 3 yards, 3 minutes fumble. 5 plays, 5 yards, 1 minute, 46 seconds punt. And then the interception at the end. Nothing.
Yep.
All second half.
Well, that first field goal they had as well was off of a long special teams run as well. Special teams, man, just really let them drop the ball in this game. because
That
Caleb
is starting
Williams
to
wasn't
turn
moving
at
the ball
least.
down the. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Caleb Williams was having a tough time taking his team down the field as well, and they don't get that long kick return. Then they maybe don't get a field goal right there. So I mean, you can. I mean, there's about 17 points that we just handed them.
Yeah.
So that's
And
tough. Tough to
football
win
is
a game
definitely a
doing
game
that.
of momentum, and they slowly got the momentum, and we never were able to swing it back in our direction at all.
That's tough to watch, man. It was like torture. I'll tell you what. I was madder than a snake with a tooth bite or toothache, man. It was rough. Um, Not too many injuries though. That's
Definitely a
one
positive.
positive coming out. We've been so used to injuries as Titans the last couple seasons. I mean, record-breaking years in injuries and stuff. So I mean, that was a good thing to see. I got scared when Ravens went down pretty hard there on that play. Wasn't sure if it
Did
was a
and
knee or what happened. He got hit pretty low there, but
I said I
thankfully
thought
he
it was a
looks like
lower
he's going to be all
body,
right.
but they're saying bruised ribs. Yeah, should be back this week. And I mean, tape don't lie, and we talked about it in our last episode that we were wondering about the right side of the O line, but the left side is the one that kind of got tore up this game
Yeah, there's a couple bad reps there by J.C. Latham.
against Skoronski.
Yeah, it's
So
just another reason why I felt like same old Titans there. They're going to have to. I mean, if this is a sneak peek of what we've got to come this year, it's going to be tough. I mean, if that O line's not going to stand together and really become a force, and if Will Levis is not the guy, we've got all these weapons and nobody to get it to him. Um, so I hope. It's first game of the season. It was tough though. It wasn't one of those games where the offense did all they could and just kind of came up short. The other offense was, it was all their offense was abysmal as ours. Even worse, Caleb Williams didn't even get 100 yards, and they still beat
yeah,
us. I mean, that's
yeah.
that's tough, man. That's really tough.
It
So I mean,
reminds me of the playoff games against the Bengals that we lost, where we sacked Joe Burrow 9 times and
nine
still
times,
time we
yeah.
lose there. Yeah,
So
but
offense has got to get it together, man. I hope that that's not a sign of things to come for the rest of the season. But
I don't think it will. I mean, Brian Callen. That was his first game calling plays too.
yeah,
We got.
yeah.
I think it's going to take some time. Like I said, I don't overreact to week one.
So
Now
let's
for
get
week
into the play
six and we're
calling a
having the
little bit.
same
I mean,
problems, then
how did you feel about the play calling? I mean,
I think, like I said, the first few drives, obviously we punted on the first two, but those touchdown drives it looked good. I was like seeing some motion, and it seemed like some of the blocking they missed their assignments. I mean, Callahan said it wasn't assignment based; it was more technique based. While they were losing on their
yeah,
blocking, but I want to see him adapt in the second half. Like I said, when they were starting to clog that run in the middle,
yeah,
find a way to beat it because it seemed like weren't trying to adjust. And
yeah.
he said they adjust between every single drive, but adjust better.
It's interesting, man. He's got a lot of like really kind of basic runs and basic things like that, but there's a lot of window dressing around it and stuff. A lot of unique ways to get guys the ball. It
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of unique things that I saw, like you said, with the motion and tosses and things like that. It was really unique kind of ways to get guys the ball. I thought I liked it for the most part. Just we got to be better on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Third down was rough. I don't know exactly where I'll pull it up, but I know it was something like 2 or 3 that we got. Yeah, 3 for 14. You got to be better than 3 for 14 on third down.
21%, yeah.
So that's a big
Unfortunately,
part of it, and just, I
penalties
mean,
were
yeah, we're beating the Bears in almost every stat here offensively in the box score. Yet,
we
somehow
beat
we
the Bears
found a
Monday,
way.
but unfortunately we beat ourselves worse. So
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, Will Levis and the special teams they beat the Titans this weekend, not the Bears and Caleb Williams. I mean, they give the Bears defense all the credit in the world. You know, they held it down and did their job. I'm not taking anything away from any of those guys. Um, but yeah, the Titans and their special teams and stuff beat themselves. If Will Levis can just not throw the pick and even keep all the errors on special teams. If Will Levis doesn't throw that pick, we probably hang on. Because
Yeah.
Caleb Williams was. I mean, you can never say. That's all. You know, just guessing and stuff. You never really know what would happen in a series of events. But you know, it's hard to not feel that way looking at everything. So
Regardless, you don't want to see him make that play.
yeah,
Regardless,
you can't see that, man. Just
if we end up winning that game, like that's going to be a huge coaching point when he comes at the end of that game.
yeah,
You can't
yeah.
do that, regardless. So
Well, and yeah, the Bears ought to be. They ought to be buying dinner for their special teams as well. Like I said, I'd be a little frustrated if I was Big Jeff Simmons and that secondary and Tavondre Sweat. That's a tough game because those guys deserve to win this game.
oh yeah,
The defense, those guys deserve the W on this. They deserve to eat a W. They want to eat them a
yeah, little
W.
Jameis Winston.
The defense played like they wanted to eat some W's.
Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one.
He's hilarious.
He is hilarious.
He's so hilarious. I don't even think he means to be either. He's just who he is.
He's endearing, man. He's funny. But yeah, that Denard Wilson defense, they came and held up their end of the bargain this weekend. I'm sure those guys are, a little
Everything
bit.
they were advertised to be,
Yeah.
getting to the backfield, getting pushed. Corners, nice to see our corners up on some receivers instead of playing 10 yards off like they always have been in other defenses.
Right. And I was just
Aubrey
like I said
Brown
again.
with a big play where they're running.
Yeah, Brownlee. Yeah, your guy, man. That's your guy, man. I saw him make a couple of plays. I saw his jersey number in there making plays, and Tavondre Sweat, man. Tavondre Sweat. It looks like a beast when he's 1-on-1, man. You're not going to be able to block him 1-on-1 all season. He's going to be a test for some guys. So that's one thing, man. Our defense, man.
The big thing for him is the talk was, can he be conditioned or not? He played the second most plays on the defense on the D line behind Simmons.
Yeah. Well,
and he didn't look tired at all.
And they said that in practice. That's the kind of things I was hearing, that he was staying on the field for extended periods and was going full speed and not losing any kind of gas and stuff. I mean, so I feel like maybe some of the conditioning stuff's been kind of overplayed a little bit. I mean, it's kind of always a talk with those kind of guys. But pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't even say surprised at this point. It's been pretty positive for him. But I just very, very pleased with what I saw from him and secondary and some of those guys. I can't say enough good things about the defense. They certainly held their own, man. It's tough for those guys. The wide receivers, man. We got to find a way to get the ball to some of these wide receivers.
Calvin had 7 targets. 2 of those were those deep shots.
Yeah, I mean, some of that's partially because of Will Levis's inaccuracies, but gosh, man, I know D Hop was on a, kind of a pitch count,
snap count
per se. Yeah. Where were the Titans wide receivers, man?
You see here. I mean, I said Calvin 3 for 50, 7 targets. They said them 2 deep balls, and then that last play where he was the one before the interception where he was running and Will kind of threw it to his back shoulder, but he was still going straight. Callahan came out and said really what should have been there where the ball was, that he ran the wrong route.
Yeah.
I don't think he was running the wrong route. I think he stopped too late.
Are you talking about the one that was down the sideline and Will threw it short?
Right before the last interception to end the game.
Okay.
I expected Tyler Boyd to be a little more involved.
That's a name I was going to bring up, yeah.
Like I said, I think it all goes back to You're looking at 6'10". I mean, you're counting as the yeah. I mean, these drives, you're only getting this many plays off in the second
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
The chances just aren't there. Yeah.
Well, and I mean
I
the O
wish
line
Tajay would have been
certainly.
more involved. I mean, he had 16 carries for Pollard and 4 for
Yeah,
Tajay.
Tajay was a little quiet as well. I expected a little bit more from him.
And
Uh,
Callahan said he's planning on getting him more involved this week. So
yeah, I guess you know should touch on a couple of the bright moments. Tony Pollard did have a good run, and
good run overall.
had Chigakonkwo had a fantastic catch. And I mean, that was a great drive there by the offense. When they came down, kind of fell apart a little bit at the end in the red zone with a few penalties and kind of backed the ball back up to the 17 or I think of what it was. And after they held it together and Will threw a laser to the back and Chig came down with it, man. And
And he was
we
under
were all
pressure on
feeling
that
pretty.
play too.
Yeah, we were feeling pretty good at that point. I mean, minus the big mistake by Levis
And the block
uh,
punt.
and the block punt. It really, it wasn't a pretty game, but it was a winnable game.
Oh
It,
yeah.
it certainly could have gone the other way if just a couple of these big things don't happen. That's about as tough of a loss, I'll tell you. I mean, other than a playoff loss. I mean, that's tough. That's about as tough a regular season loss. I mean, I think that I've felt in a while, just with all the hype this past off season, and I mean, my final bite last week was to the media, for disrespecting us and not giving Will Levis enough credit, and you know, I still stand by the principle of my argument, but it's like, I tell you what, man, they've got to feel pretty vindicated in what they've said.
Yeah.
I mean, he came out and proved them right this past weekend. So, it doesn't mean, that's solidified. It's not the end of his career or anything, but,
Yeah.
you got to make some changes there in the decision making, man. He's got to get down. He's going to get hurt. And just can't have that kind of mistake, man. That's not a NFL quarterback mistake, man. So,
I think what's really got to be coached out of is trying to play hero ball.
yeah. Well, and I mean, he shows in the first half he was doing that pretty well. There's a screen that blew up pretty quick, and I mean, he almost immediately threw it to the ground and got rid of it and didn't take any loss. And that was a third down play. I think it was right before the field goal. I think. So more of that Will Levis and less of fourth quarter Will Levis.
Absolutely.
And he's got it in him. I mean, it's not like it's too big
The arm
for him.
talent's there.
I mean, we saw it in Miami. I mean, under pressure, he can come down the field and go get a win, man. Go get a W.
Another glaring thing is he was pressured second most in the NFL this week. I don't think it's all on the offensive. It was definitely, I think it's about 50-50 offensive line and him, because I feel like sometimes he was drifting in the pocket when he shouldn't have. He should have just stood on his point, maybe just stepped up and delivered, but he would drift to the left a little bit. But I mean, the offensive line was getting beat, and I said week one, give it time to gel.
It's a tough Bears front. It's a very tough front. I mean, they held their own in the first half. Second half, it just sort of fell apart. I mean, I'd say everybody held their own pretty well after those first couple drives. Everything sort of settled down, and I mean, the offense had a few good drives, man. If we could just do more of that, you add in one more of those.
I think we saw how important Braden's was, though, because as soon as he went down, Ruppich came in.
Oh, yeah.
He got blown.
Absolutely, up. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I actually have a note of that somewhere here. I've missed it or something, but yeah, I actually noted that while I was watching the game.
That Brunskill wasn't the guy that came in. I know he's listed as backup center, but I figured he'd be the backup for all the interior positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, Ruppich got just blown up.
Yeah, it was a tough one this
glad
week.
He's back, I'm expecting Hopkins to start playing more and more each week too.
Yeah, and it's a whole it's a whole lot of new guys. So I think we have something like maybe 9 or 10 starters total from last year on offense and defense. It's
Yeah,
pretty crazy. It's probably the lowest in the league of starters returning. I'd imagine we got to be right there with the.
gotta be.
So give it time. It's not. I mean, it's one game. So
Yep.
hopefully next week can come out a little stronger, and that'll kind of bring us to last night. I didn't get to check on the game as much. How much of last night were you able to catch, and what do you think
I was
about
locked in. Locked in.
our opponents
I was
next
ready to
week?
see. Well, I wanted to see what Aaron Rodgers looked like, regardless. But him being our next opponent, I was definitely locked in on that.
Yeah, we have a
So,
32-19 victory for the 49ers last night, and I've got the box score pulled up, but I'll let you go ahead and kind of tell me what you thought of Aaron Rodgers' first outing this year. Last year was not the way Jets fans kind of saw things going last year. I
yeah,
hated to
man.
see that too. I like Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to keep all the other nonsense around his name out of it. I just think
Yeah.
he's one of the better players in the league. I respect him. I respect kind of how he goes about things, and so hated to see that happen to him. But what do you think about next week?
Um, I'm not going to dig too deep into it because I know we have our preview show coming up on it. But Jets are a similar team to the Bears, other than the fact the quarterback is the oldest compared to a rookie.
Yeah,
They have, they got some skill players. They have offensive line questions because
yeah,
both tackles they have are older. Always injured offensive tackles. Really good defense, really good secondary with Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. Sauce Gardner did go down for a minute, and I was wondering if something we need to keep around, but he came back in. So it's going to be interesting because they have C.J. Mosley, then Quentin Williams on the
Quinn
D
Williams.
line.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure they're all around as talented as the Bears defense, but they're a really good defense. It's hard to judge them off of playing the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan calling plays, who's the best in the
yeah,
business at it,
yeah. I think
So,
49ers are
and
one
they
of
gave
the.
up 401 yards. I do want to give a shout out while we're talking about this game to Jordan
Yeah,
Mason.
go ahead.
The
Okay.
played came in and started at running back since Christian McCaffrey was out, and he's from Gallatin, played at Gallatin High
Yeah,
School,
yeah.
and went to Georgia Tech, undrafted, and got his start and rushed for 147 yards and a touchdown.
Nice. Shout
So
out Jordan.
shout out to the local boy.
Old local Tennessee ball. Old Tennessee ball.
But
That's
to be
really
honest
cool. I
with
love
you,
stories like that, man. It's really
my
cool.
wife's first kiss was Jordan Mason in
Oh
middle
wow.
school. Where did
Hey,
she go wrong?
hey.
She ended up
He
with
took
me.
your girl. He took your girl, Mason. He took your girl.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
she'll be happy I said that on here, but she'll be getting over it.
Well. Yeah. I'm not as sold on the Jets as some people are this year, but uh, I do know they have a pretty good defense. I think as much as I like Aaron Rodgers and respect him and stuff, I mean he is 40. Um,
Yeah.
I just I think they're going to struggle a little bit this year. So yeah, and then we don't want to get too much into it because we'll have a preview coming to you guys Saturday. We're going to try and record a preview Friday night and get it out to you Saturday. We're going to try and do that weekly, so you have a day to kind of catch up with us before the Titans game. Most of them being
And
on
we'll
Sunday. We don't
recap
even
you
have a
every
Monday
Tuesday
night,
or
do we?
Wednesday.
I don't think
What?
we have a Monday night this year, do we? We don't even have a Monday night game,
No,
do
we
we?
do week 4 Monday
Well,
night in
okay,
Miami. Revenge game for
okay.
them.
Is that our only primetime game?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that. Okay, okay. So wait, it's
We don't
week
even have a
4.
Thursday. We don't even
Okay.
have a Thursday night game this year.
Yeah, that's I saw that. Yeah. So okay.
Um,
So yeah, we're gonna start trying to put these guys out for you guys on Saturday, and then you'll have a day to catch up with us before the game, and then we'll try to get. We were thinking about doing recaps to the game on Sunday. That may change in the future, but for now, Tuesday I think is what we're shooting for. Uh,
have it released Tuesday or Wednesday, and so
yeah, but in the future that may change when we can go live and stuff for you guys. We're kind of still figuring everything out a little bit. We're rough around the edges still, so we really appreciate y'all being here because we know a lot of other channels are steps ahead, and we're kind of just newcomers and getting started. But I think
Just a
people
couple
want to
guys that
hear.
enjoy talking football.
And I think Titans fans, I think they're yearning for actual football talk about the Titans. I think they're tired of the
Yeah.
mayonnaise stuff, and they're tired of, and it's funny, and I appreciate Will feeding into it. I don't, I just, it gets old. You don't get any kind of real
Yeah.
coverage on the Titans nationally. And so I think that's kind of why we're here to add another
Yep.
outlet for everybody to kind of go check out, listen to. I'm not here to compete with any of the guys that are already here. I watch all those guys. Titans Upload Network, Two Tone Talk Podcast, Tic Tac Titans, which is also Locked On Titans podcast with Tyler Rowland.
Yeah.
All those guys. Titans Chat Network, Sports Network. He's got a complicated name, but all those guys, man.
That
I'm
guy.
forgetting a few, but yeah, we're not competing with anybody. We're just adding another platform for you guys to go enjoy some Titans football talk.
We just
Because I
want to be a
know
part of
it's
your Titans family.
that's it. We just we know that Titans football talk is slim out there, and there's not a lot of people that give it serious talk in the media. So, um, but yeah, I guess we've kind of gone through pretty much most of what we needed to for this recap today, and
Probably didn't do that.
it was tough, man. I tell you what, I didn't want to do it,
Yeah.
but did you get you a final bite this week together? I'll let you go first, man. What's your final bite?
My final bite is stop overreacting to week one.
The Titans fans, or well, NFL fans,
Not
I
just, I
guess they
mean,
could apply
NFL
to.
fans in general, but
Yeah,
I guess we'll go for Titans fans. This is what we're doing.
that's what we do. We tighten up over here, baby.
We can tighten up. You can't just people are like Will Levis sucks. Brian Callahan's a bad coach.
Yeah,
It's a new offense. He's making his 10th start. Give it time. New offensive
yeah,
line. The only returning starter is Skaronski. I mean, Ratings was in there a little bit. NPF was in there a little bit last year, but full-time starter
yeah,
is Skaronski.
yeah,
Give them time to gel. You only do so much in training camp.
yeah. That's true.
Come together. Give it time. Now, we're still having the same conversation week 8. We can start looking at mock drafts. Okay?
Yeah,
But
yeah. Hopefully,
stop
we're not there,
overreacting.
Migs. We'll have to entertain the people, man. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
tough year. I hope to
yeah,
God. I hope this is not a sign of things to come. But I'm not. I'm not a. It's hard to not overreact in your heart a little bit.
yeah,
So you got to let the mind take over and kind of. So I
for
mean,
sure.
so to the fans, final bite, huh? Um, Mine's going to be just kind of obvious. I mean, people could probably guess what maybe one of them. I mean, I'm sure some people guess this. Just the offense, man. You gotta get it together, guys. You gotta gel. You gotta, and Will Levis in the decision making in particular, man. Down, get down. I'm serious. Take him to the baseball field at the Nashville Sounds and let him slide because it could be his career. So
Yeah,
just the decision making in general, the offense I'm kind of calling out as a whole, but Will Levis in particular. And I've been one of your biggest defenders, so like I hope you succeed, and I hope that things get better. I know this was a new team and everything, but so I'm just going to make the obvious one my final bite. Just the offense. I think all Titans
nothing wrong
fans
with that.
want them to kind of figure it out because we were telling everybody that would listen, like, hey, this offense is going to be something this year. So,
It still can be. So don't
and it's
overreact.
still way, yeah, it still can be. I'm not, yeah, yeah, overreaction always strong in the first week. So,
You have overreaction.
uh,
That's why we're recording this on Tuesday, because you have Monday to overreact, and Tuesday it's
yeah,
time to come back down. And
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I was harder than a
now if we
football
win,
tomcat on
I'm ready
Sunday.
to. If we win, I'm ready to record on a Monday. We're talking how
Yeah.
we're going to go 16-1 now.
Well, I was thinking maybe yeah, we could start going live in the future. Maybe if once we get everything kind of sorted out. Like I said again, folks, we're kind of new to this and we're figuring everything out. So once I
Right.
mean, I'd be down to do that. And Andrew here goes to the games. quite a bit.
Season ticket
So
MVP.
yeah, he goes to the home games. So we might be able to start going live for you guys after the games on Sunday. So we'll just kind of see where the future kind of takes us and everything. So, but yeah, you ready to wrap this up? I guess
Guess the check's on me this week.
it's on you this week, man.
Check, please.
But
Thank
yeah,
y'all.
we'll catch
Please
you guys
like,
next week.
subscribe,
Yeah,
follow us
tickle
on
us with your
Twitter.
thumb down there. And yeah, subscribe to us. Tickle us with your thumb down there a little bit if you like hanging out with us. And we'll catch you guys next week. That's Andrew.
That's Christian. Much love.
And
Tighten up.
this has been Titans Table for Two, guys. Tighten up.
Two.